Chapter 3. Alicia tried to make the morning as normal as possible. She got up and made Kenny breakfast while he sat on the couch reading. As usual, she had to pull him away from the tales of mythical monsters to get him to the table to eat his eggs and toast. While eating, they played their favorite breakfast game of guessing the animal that the other one selected. "Is it a mammal?" Alicia asked. "Yes." "Does it live in America?" "No." "You picked another tricky one, didn't you?" Alicia tried to keep a playful expression on her face, but her thoughts kept drifting to her lost job and her son's school. Kenny giggled. "You're not going to get this one." "Does it have fur?" Alicia tried to imagine the worst that could happen. Without money, we would lose our apartment, but on the bright side, that would mean Kenny would have to transfer schools. "Of course it is a mammal." "Right, good point. Keep eating." Alicia moved around the kitchen, cleaning up the breakfast mess as she thought. "Does it live in the savannas?" "There has to be someone willing for us to take over their couch." It had been a while since she had to ask. "The savannah?" Kenny looked confused. "Like lions and elephants." "Oh, no, it lives in the rainforest." "Thank you for the free clue." "Whatever happens, it will work out. Maybe it won't be easy, but we will get through. We've managed so far. What matters is right in front of us." She tried to focus back onto her son. "You tricked me, but you still won't guess this one." Kenny had stopped eating, his food spilling out of his grin. "Finish eating," Alicia said, "so that I can keep guessing." Kenny returned to his ketchup-covered eggs and stabbed them with his fork until he got some to stick. Then he deposited the food in his mouth without enthusiasm. "Is it a type of monkey?" Her son was growing so fast, and she wanted to enjoy every second of it. "It's not a monkey, but it is a primate." "Thank you for another free clue." The grin on Alicia's face was no longer forced. "Oh, no," Kenny said, putting his hand up to his forehead. "You keep tricking me." "I think you are being nice to me since your animal is so hard. So a primate that is not a monkey." Alicia started making his lunch as she thought. "Is it a gorilla?" "No, it's not a gorilla." Kenny ate the last bite of his eggs and took his plate to the sink. Alicia put his carrots and sandwich in his lunchbox and then moved over to the sink to wash off the plate. "Is it an ape?" The familiarity of their morning routine gave her comfort. "It's not an ape. You're not going to get this one for sure." Alicia moved to the pantry and pulled out a fruit strip and a Rice Krispie bar. "Orange or apple?" she asked. "Apple." Kenny had now moved to the couch in the connecting living room. "Cut or not cut?" "Not cut. I don't like it when it goes brown." "I know, but sometimes you don't like it when it's whole. I think you stumped me again. I don't know any other primates." She paused and watched him as he tied up his shoes. He had insisted on tied laces at the start of the school year, officially declaring the slip-on shoes she bought him babyish. "You give up?" "I give up." "It's an aye-aye." "What's an aye-aye?" Alicia asked as she closed his lunchbox and moved it into the living room. "No." Kenny started laughing again. "It's an aye-aye. It's like a lemur, and it lives in the rainforest. It has big, weird eyes." "Was yesterday library day? Go get your backpack." Alicia grabbed her nice purse, the one large enough to hold her resume. "It was a computer day," Kenny yelled from his room. "I looked up animals no one has heard of." "Well, it was right. I have never heard of that at all. You are just so smart." "Don't worry, Mom. You'll win one day." Kenny wandered back to the couch with one hand holding his unzipped backpack. In his other hand was his jacket. "How about you put on your jacket and I'll pick up these papers that fell out. We need to leave or you won't have time to play before the bell rings."
"Mom, did you lose your job again?"
Kenny asked. "Why do you think that?" Alicia asked.
"You only wear these clothes when you're looking for a new job."
"There you go, being smart again. Let's get in the car." Alicia helped shuffle him out the door and turned to lock up. "Things did not work out at the office. I'm going to go and look for something else today, so you don't need to worry. Everything will work out." Kenny was quiet as they walked to the car. He didn't speak until they pulled out of the parking lot.
"If we don't have any money, you don't have to buy me any Christmas presents."
"That's sweet, Kenny Bean, but Christmas is not for another 2 months. It's too early to worry about presents."
"It's never too early to care about presents."
He flashed her a wide grin that she saw in her rearview mirror. I am the luckiest person alive. Do you know why?
Because you have me for a son?
You are right. Kenny's smile was short-lived.
I'm sorry, Mommy.
What are you sorry for?
For causing all this trouble? I don't mean to do any of it. I don't. It just seems to happen.
Kiddo, none of this is your fault. You didn't do anything. It's just your school telling stories.
Yeah, okay.
He dropped his gaze and lost his easy smile. Alicia turned onto the street of the school's main entrance and had to put all her focus on driving. She stopped at the back of the line of cars heading to the drop-off. Orange traffic cones were placed in front of the school, creating a lane where cars could pull up, let their kids out, and then drive off again. Except it rarely worked out that well. While they were waiting to move, a white SUV drove up beside them and parked in the middle of the road. The passenger door opened, and a kid no older than 6 got out and walked in front of their car without a glance. The car doors seemed to close on its own before the parent drove off, nearly hitting another group of kids crossing the road. Alicia noticed the principal was standing outside on the grass in front of the school building. She was talking into her walkie-talkie while the 5th grade safety patrol students opened car doors to let their peers out. It did not take long for the principal to notice Alicia, and her already dark look turned into more of a scowl. Alicia kept her face blank, which was pretty typical for her anyway. Then she looked back at the principal, making eye contact. Alicia counted in her head. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 seconds of eye contact was normal for most individuals. When the principal did not pull her gaze away, Alicia continued making contact. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Finally, the principal turned her head and talked into her walkie-talkie. Alicia never understood why people insisted on looking at each other in the eyes. It felt intrusive, but at least this time she had won. Finally, they arrived in front of the school. A young boy in a neon orange vest grabbed their car door and tried unsuccessfully to open it. Before he could try again, Kenny leaned against the door, helping it unstick.
Goodbye, Mom,
he said as he hopped out of the car. Then he moved the other student out of the way to make sure he closed the door so it would stay latched. Goodbye, Kenny Bean, Alicia said, but he was walking away before she even finished speaking. Without her son, the car suddenly felt smaller, and her responsibilities pressed down on her. She headed out of the drop-off line, determined to do her best to improve their situation.